I'm Justin Koehler. I am here on the Red Couch for the Red Couch podcast. I'm here with the brand new FSU Student President-elect, Stephin Sathya. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How's your morning been? I know it's kind of not early, but early enough today.
It's okay, but the weather could have been better.
Yeah, you can definitely say that. I'm definitely ready for spring.
Yeah.
It felt like kind of a mild winter to get started. Now it's kind of really starting to dump it on us a little late.
It was late, yeah. I came here last year and it was much worse. But this time it's okay. It was late, but it's.
Yeah, I'm used to winter. Some of my family's from up north, kind of Thunder Bay region, and they have it pretty bad, but it's a different kind of cold than we have it down here.
Okay.
So just different all around. So you've had a little bit of time to kind of like collect yourself, sort of debrief from the elections last week. How are you feeling now that you've had a bit of time to process things?
It's settling in. So initially the first day and the next day it's still a shock. Because I think because the reason was everyone except me knew that I would win because I was really stressed about it because we had the most amount of candidates ever, so I thought it was going to be a close battle and everyone was campaigning really well, so it was really stressful. So I wanted to win, but at the same time I was not that sure a lot of the reasons, but we'll talk about it. But but it was a surprise, so it was quite a shock. And now it's settling in and slowly getting ready to take the next step and stuff. Yeah.
And I wasn't the one doing a lot of the coverage for the FSU elections, but I went and stopped in to listen to some of the speeches the one day. And like you said, I was shocked by just how many candidates there were in general for it.
Yeah.
And it threw me off guard. I was like, is this the audience? Oh no, these are the people running. Wow. Oh man. So one thing that a lot of people don't super know about when it comes to the elections is just when the kind of campaigning, when the actual prep work starts for the people who are involved. When did you kind of get started with everything?
Okay, so I decided that I wanted to run maybe 4 months back. I think 4 or 5 months back. So it was the first time I told someone that I was gonna run. So the first person that I actually went and told was Paula, our student life coordinator for the events. The only reason is because I started here in the Red Squad, and she was my the first person I knew here in FSU. And she took really good care of our Red Squad. So it was she was the first person I wanted to tell it to. So it was during our open house, actually, the last one that we had. So I went and told her that I was going to run. At that point, there was just 2 people who wanted to run. So it was me, and then there was another person. So that was the only 2 people I knew who wanted to run for president. Nobody else knew about the election. Nobody was thinking about it. But the thing is that it's an election, right? And people have to vote. It's not an interview. So you got to get your name out there and make sure that people know you. At least know you. Not that you got to let them know that you're running for president, but at least know you and make sure that everyone knows what you're doing, that you're involved and stuff. So I kind of started of that, and my job helped with me that too, because I'm an event ambassador and being with the Red Squad volunteering. So I was always here around with the events and stuff. So a lot of people came to know about me, and I get to meet a lot of people and talk to them and get to hear their problems and things, because you're the kind of point of contact for them, because they know that you're in the FSU. Even if you're not in a position of power or decision making, they still know, okay, he's part of the FSU, let me approach him with my questions. So that kind of helped with the preparation, because I get to hear the issues, so I know what's happening and what I need to work with. At the same time, I get to meet people and let them know, hey, I'm here. And
Yeah, and there's a difference between just kind of putting the posters up, spreading awareness that way, and then actually being kind of recognizable by the people that you're running for.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. And so what are some of the things that actually go into the election? I think a lot of people, like I said, just see the posters. They just see that sort of end of a college election.
Yeah.
What all goes into it?
Okay, so the ideal way, I would say, is because the one thing that I regardless of the outcome, now I know what needs to be done to make someone else win or help them win, because I know what to do, what not to do, what's gonna help, what's not gonna help, because it's been really insightful campaigning in front of the people, and that's one of the most important things. You really have to go out there and talk to people in person. Okay, you cannot sit back and have someone else do it for you. you really have to go out there, right? So that's step one, is actually going to people and talking to them, right? That's your first step. Like anyone who ever wants to be like a president or anything like that, you want to be in a position of decision-making, power, influence. First thing is go out to the people, talk to them, and learn their life, right? Because for me, the maximum maybe 1, 2, 3 angles I can look at something. But if I want to know somebody else's life and different, like to stand in someone else's shoes, to say, I really had to go talk to them, and I want to know like, hey, what are you facing? There may be different program, different country, different lifestyle. What are your issues in Fanshawe? Like, what are you facing? So just go out there, talk to people, know what's happening in their lives, get a comprehensive outlook on things. That's the first step. The first step is like get to know. Then you start thinking, okay, what are the solutions? What can be done? Like just consult with the people who are already in the position of power, and then ask them, hey, can this be done? Like, get to know like what can be done, what cannot be done. Then base your solutions on that. Then outline everything, and then decide, okay, what do you want to focus on, and then kind of build your way up, and then finally you've got a plan. Like, okay, these are the things I'm focusing on. These are the issues the students are facing. This can be done. This cannot be done, and then base your campaign on that, and decide what you want to tell the people.
Yeah, no, that's spectacular. And you mentioned that kind of like relationship sort of now that you've gone through the process, you can kind of explain it to the next group that ends up running for it. That being said, how's your relationship with the current acting FSU president?
It's good. I never never thought I would be friends like with him, or like get to talk to him on a regular basis. But getting involved with the Red Squad and the FSU team really helped build that connection. And it was I would say you're nervous like when the first time you meet someone in power, and then but he's actually a good person. So, and I'm glad that I could build that rapport with him. So it's been nice, he's been helpful and stuff. So it's good to have a president like that. So I'm happy that I could have a good relationship with him.
Any big pieces of advice or things that they've helped you out with along the way, or now that you're the president-elect now?
Well, he did the one thing that is like same thing, right? What I learned, and it's like just go out and talk to the people. So for me, I'll tell you, so I was not a coordinator or anything like that. It's just been like an event ambassador job, right? So not really access to a lot of things. So it's kind of like very new to me, like to want to be president. Like it's a really big jump as far as I'm concerned. So for me, the question was like, if I'm not a director or a coordinator or like anybody in that kind of positions, like how do I reach that? Like how do I present myself to the people so that they can put their faith on me? Because like I'm the guy in the events, right? So like how can you be a president? So it's like, so one thing that he did say was like, it doesn't matter. Like it's a new job, it's a new responsibility. No one's prepared for it. Like you get trained for it. As the time goes, like you learn. The initial step is just going out there and like talking to people. It's the same. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, okay? Because I'll tell you an incident that happened. So when I was campaigning and I was talking to a group of people, and some other people were campaigning too. And when I went to the people and I talked to them and I explained them like, hey, I'm running in the elections. This is my position that I'm running for, and let me explain why you should vote for me. And I actually gave them my pitch, right? After that, they said, it's good that you're talking to us, because a lot of the people, they just come and tell us to vote for this person. They don't really tell us why they should vote. And I take really great pride in this thing that I put my relationship with the people first, because I don't want to be the guy who just say, hey, vote for me, like you've seen me, like you don't vote. No, that's not the reason. Like I want to build a relationship first and then give them the reason to vote for me, because otherwise it's a big campus, okay? Like there's no chance you're gonna know everyone, okay? So just going up there and like, hey, vote for this person. Why? Why? Like I have to talk to them, and that really helped me. I'm thinking like it really put me ahead of the competition, because once I saw the numbers, I realized that, okay, like I knew like, okay, this really had an impact. Like going out there talking, because I've had some other campus people telling like, why should we vote? We don't know some of the we don't know like the candidates. Like they never came and like talked to them, right? So I realized, okay, so it's an issue. Like if you don't go talk to them, just their friends telling them is not enough, right? Like I really have to go, and I did go. So that's important. Like just going out there talking to people, get the relationship good,
Well, I think people undersell just how big Fanshawe College actually is. I was looking at numbers, and yeah, I think Fanshawe is around 20,000 students right now.
Full time.
So yeah, if you end up just being that person who runs an election, just kind of hands out pamphlets, just puts their name on the wall, it is really tougher, easier said than done to actually stand out amongst the crowd.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's super, super impressive. Is there any big things that you've learned from the students that you've been talking to already so far?
Yeah, that they a lot of them don't give a shit about the FSU. That's why I said it was insightful, right? Because the last 2 days of campaigning in Maine, the previous last day I was at South campaigning, but the 2 days before that I was here at Maine in the morning. Then I was running back to class. But the thing is that a lot of the people didn't know that there was elections, even with the posters. It's really surprised. Like it just covered up everything, like every wall. It's like posters and posters, but still people were not aware, and then they were not aware of how they were gonna vote, or like who they should vote for, why they should. I had people questioning me, what's the benefit in for you? I'm like, I'll get to be the president and then do stuff for you. So he's like, okay, yeah. So I'm like, no, see, the idea is that I get to do it for the students. The benefit is mainly for you. Sure, I get paid and everything like that, but that's my focus is different. Like it's for the students, right? But they didn't seem to really care. They were like, it's more like, oh, you're running for yourself. Like, what's in it for us? And they didn't even give me a chance to like explain to them. So, and then I've had people like who were laughing in my face as I was giving them bits. So it was like, I really wanted like more time to campaign, but at the end of the day, I thought like, it's better. Maybe if I had more time, I would have been even more discouraged. But at the same time, I've had students who actually asked me like, why should we vote for you? Explain to us, like, what are you going to do? I was happy to explain to them. I had people who were like readily on board with the ideas and were like, yeah, we'll tell our friends too. So there's both sides. I think that we're really lacking in the awareness part, because we don't really actually go to the people. Once you're in this position of power, and then you're kind of disconnected with the actual ground level work with the people. So the thing is that I want to improve like the way that we go to the people, right? It's not about just telling people about the FSU. Like, okay, you talk about the FSU, like in some other campuses, like you talk about the FSU. I'm like, okay, but I've never seen these guys here. Even in my campus, I was so scared to campaign in my campus, because the only kind of event that we have at mine is like we have pizza parties or like breakfast or something like that, right? Other than that, we never see the FSU people, the executive team. Nobody comes there. Like they don't know. There are like a lot of issues, like parking being one of the big ones, but the FSU doesn't handle it. But when I went there, I was grilled by the people in my campus, and the thing is that I know the space limitation and the things that we cannot do there, so I didn't really have something to do with them. And I asked about the parking too, and we don't deal with it. So it's not something where I can tell them that, hey, I'm gonna get it fixed, because it's not like a switch I can on and off. I still have, there's a lot more that goes into it to change it. So I didn't really want to present that as like, yeah, I'm gonna get the parking solid and things like that. But that's a big issue there. So it was so hard to like give them my pitch and like trying to convince them to vote for me. So that's kind of thing, right? Like, if the FSU had already been involved in my campus, and they came there and asked the students and listened to them, they would know that, okay, these people care, they've been here, like we've talked to them, we know what the FSU is and stuff like that. So it would have made it easier for the candidates to campaign, like such as myself. So I'm going to change that. So that's one thing that I'm going to go with my team to the campus and actually talk to them, and not just be here and, sit above everything and just like, let it come to us. No, that's, I think telling is not enough. You actually have to show that you care. That's the step one, to like make them actually know about us, and like actually make them aware, like, hey, there are people who want to do good for the students, and like we want you to get involved and help us do it for you. So yeah,
just spectacular to hear. And yeah, you hit the nail kind of on the head. Any times that I've talked to people regarding the FSU election so far, have asked either like, what's the importance, or what do they even do, kind of a thing. And there's that kind of disconnect between a lot of the people in the college actually just knowing what you'll be doing on a regular basis. So can you briefly explain what that'll kind of entail for you?
Like what my duties are?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the like for anybody who becomes president, it's you have the third-party relationships, organization relationship with the FSU. Then you're in charge of your team and their work schedules, like your coordinators, the 3 coordinators below you, and then you have your negotiation about the fees with the general manager. You have your negotiation with the LTC bus pass, with the LTC and stuff like that. So that's the general kind of things that we do. And obviously inside Fanshawe, bringing the student issues to the college and sitting on the committees and talking about it and advocating for student issues. The rest is just what you want to do, like whatever the president wants to do, and then working on those plans, like what's something new that everyone has to bring to the table. So yeah, that's kind of just the brief the stuff that happens. Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, and I think it's a lot of things that people just default don't super think about. And I think a lot of the issues that I've talked to people where they bring up, like they'll talk about like stuff like food prices or like parking numbers, and I'm like, it's not super. You can't kind of like pin a president on those sorts of things where they don't really have the control to do that in the first place. But so that's great to hear some of the things that you actually do have power over, which is, I think, super helpful to some of the people listening and watching as well. And so I know the whole election process can be a whole ordeal, and I know some people handle it better than others. Is there a particular part of the process, the elections, that you loved more than you thought that you actually would going in?
No, I think the campaigning and talking to people is both like the most tough part, and it's a thing that I love doing also, because see, it's 2 emotions, right? One, like when you meet people that you feel that don't like, it's just like laughing in your face, right? You feel kind of discouraged. It gives you 2 options. Like it's either you can get frustrated at the thing, or you could like, okay, now I understand why there's a lack of awareness, involvement. Okay, now I know, okay, we need to fix this. That's kind of the insight that you get. At the same time, when you go and talk to people who are like really supportive and like really on board with the ideas, that gives you more energy and like gives you more faith. Okay, this is going good. Like the campaign is going good. They're on board with the ideas. It just pushes you for like more to like go out there and like talk to people. And then like just working with your team. So the thing is that so this is one of the stupid rules, right? There's a lot of rules that staff can help with the thing. Like if there's a lot of student staff that we have in FSU, me being one of them, and I brought a lot of my friends into the Red Squad and like the people I know who work with me who would actually go out and campaign on behalf of me. Everyone is part of the FSU, and because of the rules, they couldn't do it. They were like not allowed to like do it on social media, in person. Like there was a lot of restrictions. So I lost a lot of like good team members because of that rule. I mean, I get it why the rule is there. Is staff, they could use their position to influence and stuff like that. But at the same time, like I'm being penalized for bringing people into the FSU. Like that's kind of the general goal, right? So it was disappointing. But at the same time, I had other people who could help me, and they were campaigning on behalf of me, telling their friends, like supporting me. And it was so fun to like see that there are people who actually support you, like right, they really believe in you. And you need that, right? Like you could be the most unknown candidate in the campus. At the same time, if you have a few people who are, with you, like shouting your name and like just going out there and telling people and inspiring them to like vote and take part, and that's been really wonderful for me. And that's the most fun part. Yeah.
And then on the other hand, kind of vice versa, was there one part of the whole process that was almost just worse than you were expecting? You just kind of dreaded throughout the whole thing?
Yeah. So we had a meeting with the election officer before everything went down. So it was just a meeting with all the candidates, going over the rules and stuff, what you can do and not do. And so it was such a surreal moment, right? You'd see inside the boardroom or the meeting room that we have here, and just completely the chairs are filled, and you have people standing on the side too. Like, and that was like a big thing, right? So many people running. And he did say that, hey guys, it's a honor-based system, so be nice to everyone and like conduct your campaign fairly and stuff like that. I knew right then and there that was not going to be the case. I would like to think so, that it's people would be fair and like good with everyone, but you have so initially 11 people, and then 3 backed out, so 8 people. So when you have a lot of candidates in a real world, it's not ideal to think that it's going to be fair and that people are going to be nice. Okay, I would like to think so, right? Because at the end of the day, what we do is for the students. Everything anyone intends to do is for the students. But unfortunately, that was not the case. I had a lot of obstacles and people trying to stop me from campaigning and like interfere with the campaign. It was not good, with the other candidates. So like I got a lot of warning emails and stuff like that. So it's been a really messy election, to be fair. We did plan on like sitting with the election officer and going over feedback and stuff. So we can make it better for the next time, right? Because obviously I'm expecting more candidates too next time, because since we've seen such a big number this time. So really, they weren't expecting a lot of people, and it was their first time handling a lot of candidates and the things that goes on when you have a lot of people doing this. So I think it's good that if we have a chat with the election officer and the general manager and see how we can refine things so that it's much more smoother the next time and less issues and complaints. So yeah, there's been a lot of obstacles. So that was the one part I was like not happy about. But other than that, yeah, it's been good. But that's just yeah.
Awesome. And oftentimes that's kind of how new ground can be broken, especially for if they end up doing like different changes to evolve the election process for the college as a whole. Being the ones to kind of go through it, sometimes not the best, but to kind of potentially be that change in the future, that's super, super important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you have to talk to the people who have actually gone through it. You can't just sit down and write rules just for the heck of it. You just ask us, like, we've gone through it. So we definitely know like what can be done better to improve. So yeah, I really hope we can do it. So yeah, it's better for the next people.
Awesome. And so we're just about to wrap up, but I'm gonna do one quick thing for you. So a few weeks ago when I hosted the podcast, talking with Ben, who's behind the camera now, I ended off on this little kind of lightning round thing of just quick little questions, super easy, nothing to worry about, just to help kind of some of the people listening, some of the people watching to kind of know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
Nothing too major. But if you can, just say the first thing that pops into your head.
Okay.
Just to really emphasize the lightning round kind ofness of it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Shawarma.
Shawarma? Oh, great pick. I only got really, really introduced to shawarma probably a year or two ago, and I'm super addicted to it.
I grew up in Saudi Arabia, so I've been eating it my whole life. So yeah, the best.
Any shawarma places in London that you've seen so far that have really, really good shawarma?
Shawarma guys. Yeah.
Shawarma guys?
Yeah.
Good. I'm gonna write that down. Do you have a favorite music?
Dubstep.
Dubstep? Any in particular?
Skrillex mainly. Yeah, Skrillex.
Nice. That's awesome. This is a tough one for me in particular. Favorite movie?
Oh yeah. I would say Ivan Almighty. Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a pick that I don't hear very often. That's kind of cool. Do you prefer summer or winter?
Summer.
Summer? I'm in the same boat. I'm a summer child, so I super understand that. Do you prefer the city or the country?
City.
City? Like the kind of the hustle and bustle of the city?
I grew up in the city, so
that'll do it. And coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee?
Yep.
I would
Big fan.
I would take either. I drink more coffee, but I think I almost prefer tea sometimes, just different flavors and all that.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite sport?
Soccer.
Soccer?
Yeah.
I call it football, so don't. I almost.
Oh, good. That's
football.
good.
I call it.
I want to say football, but I hate when it comes to soccer.
I'll call what most people call football American football is how I'll usually refer to it. But no, so
not football. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite hobby?
Well, like right now, like it's photography.
Photography?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do it here at the FSU too, and then that's what I do. Yeah.
Once you get started in photography, it's really hard to stop, I find. I'll bring my camera or have my phone ready to whip out on a moment's notice when I go out. So that's awesome. And favorite celebrity?
Oh, favorite celebrity. Shah Rukh Khan.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Super cool. And that's all I've pretty much got. So it was a pleasure to talk with you.
Same.
Best of luck when you actually sort of, I guess, come into power, if that's the way to put it. And yes, that's it for this episode of the Red Couch Podcast. You can listen to it anywhere that podcast can be heard, Spotify, Apple Music, all that sort of thing. If you wanted to read our current issue, it's out on shelves now, and our next one comes out next Friday. And thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time.